Neat. Jean's on.
Oh, she is?
Yep.
I
I
am.
don't see her.
Sorry.
Everybody should put their camera on.
Well, I'm working on it.
It's
Well,
nice to
it
see a
depends
face.
on if you have a background you want other people to see.
Oh, I don't really care.
Well, I'm
You
trying
can
to
change your
hide my-
background.
Yeah, I'm not that high tech.
No, my background is just fine. What I look at every day, so.
That's down in the video. You click
Sorry,
the
I was
little
late. I was
down in the
talking
video.
to a friend I haven't talked to for a long
There.
time, and all of a sudden I looked up and said, "Gotta go, Lori."
Well, that's wonderful. We have almost a full load here, so why don't we start? I will call this meeting to order of the Village of North Hudson Plan Commission, Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. Roll call, please, Jessica.
Members Anderson,
Present.
Bachman,
Present.
Howard,
Here,
Chair Miser,
Here.
members Mitchell, absent Schneider,
Here.
and Wecken.
Here.
Oh, good. All but one. That's very good. Okay, the first item on our agenda is approval of the meeting minutes from last month, March 17th. Is there a motion?
I move to approve them.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any additions or corrections?
No.
Here.
Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the meeting minutes of March 17, 2021, signify by saying aye. Aye.
hi.
Aye.
Hi. By the way, I just lost myself. How do I get myself back on screen? I'm sorry.
Lower left.
Video.
Lower left. Video. Start video.
Oh,
Move your cursor down to the lower left, and then
Share screen.
should be down there.
I might have hit something else. How do I bring myself up? Wait, I think
You can go out and start over.
My video's on the top and my three buttons are on the top.
yeah, I know I'm not on the participants.
Share screen.
I hit
No.
something. I'm sorry.
Are you on a laptop or on an iPad?
Laptop.
Well, my laptop things show up on the bottom. The mute and the stop video, start video thing shows on the bottom. You just blackened out. It's not like you're
I
stopping.
hit the wrong button, I think.
But every time you speak, your name comes up.
That is true.
So we can hear you, we just can't see you.
Yeah, I tried to hit something and I.
And you should be able to listen, so we could just go on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next item is we have a public hearing for a conditional use permit of Caroline Whaley and Sam Shulo to install a permanent business sign in the commercial district at 703 6th Street. I do see that Sam, Caroline are listed here. I want to give just we have our packet, we know what it is, but for the public listening in, if you want to give a quick synopsis of what you would like.
Sure, you bet. So this is Caroline, and I've got Sam here present as well. I guess we don't have our video on. So what this is, it'll be a permanently installed ground sign that complies with all of the Village of North Hudson ordinances, as well as the state of Wisconsin statute requirements for signage. The sign's approximate location is going to be on the corner of, let's see, I guess it would be the north west corner, which is on our property, 703 6th Street. It'll be the corner of 6th Street and Highway 35 in Summers. So our attempt is to create an attractive business sign that's capable of providing community service information like the time, the date, the temperature, those sorts of things, even details about local events like Pepperfest, as well as to promote our business.
Wonderful. Before we go to a public hearing, I will just comment that the building inspector believes the sign proposal meets the spirit of village ordinance and he recommends approval, and the village engineer had no comments. Do any other plan commission members have any questions before we open it up to the public?
What is the refresh rate at which said advertisements or things are going to be going up? What is the state? I don't know if that is an ordinance in our own village, but what is the state ordinance on refresh rate on advertising?
If you're asking us, Caroline and Sam, we're not sure yet. We can adjust that to what it is. But we're going to be pretty much similar to Quick Trip and the Village Inn on their refresh rates.
And we are required to get a permit from the state of Wisconsin. So we will need to adhere to all of their requirements, and that refresh rate is one of them.
And us not knowing that, I guess I just want to make sure that it is slow. And yes, the other places do have them. I just want to make sure that they're slow and not flashing for drivers and or neighbors. I don't know the output of your sign and how much that'll affect the neighbors, but if it was to be at a slower rate, if this could be, you know, understandable to your neighbors, you know, something so flashy or at least at nighttime hours that it's not going to be causing flashing lights and going through the windows of your good neighbors.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, there's a couple
Right.
of answers that yes, we in the refresh rate too, you know, you're only driving 25 through there. So it's going to be, you know, we want to be able to read a message, you know, in the time frame.
So we'll need to be slow.
And you know, and we are commercial a lot. We're going to be as much as we can to our neighbors. And the way it's angled down, facing south down Highway 35. So, you know, we took that into consideration, and it really is at a good angle where it doesn't directly go at either house on either side of the road. So we thought, you know, adhering to the square footage away, we think we got a spot. We don't want to upset neighbors either.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like Sam said, it has to be slow enough so people can read it, and we don't want it so bright or to be obnoxious and, you know, and hurt your eyes. You know, so.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is this is the screen like a television screen? I mean, is it that sort of resolution?
Yeah, so we submitted all the documents, you know, with this, and it's going to be a 6 foot by 4 foot.
I see this.
Okay, you got it. Okay, you got it. Or one. Okay, so yeah, there's going to be basically a screen that's going to be about 6 foot by 4 foot overall. You know, it's high def, 10 millimeter, late technology. So that's like the size of, let's say, the screen. The screen will be overall 6 feet wide by 7.5 feet tall, kind of shaped like a T.
Given the pedestal, yeah, that's on.
Yep. No, I see. Yeah, I see the. Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Yep.
I was just curious. Is saying, so literally, you could put a video graphic on here. Could you? I mean,
We can take advantage of the spot. You know, we're a little fireworks store here, but you know, have another job that I do that I could be advertising on again. I know we're local here, so we're going to use it, you know, for some local things. But for the most part, yes, it's a TV screen type deal.
Right.
10 millimeters, actually, what it is.
Do you have plans of hiring out advertising for businesses? I know that you brought up local stuff, but is this something else you're looking at?
And I think you got to be a little careful here, because if you're talking on-premise sign versus a billboard.
Right,
The
that's why I'm
billboard is
wondering.
gonna
Because
advertise
out of this.
premises businesses, and that's a whole different deal here.
Right, this is like a quarter size of a billboard.
Yeah, so you know, you should be
What's-
advertising your on-site business and not other businesses.
Well, the only other thing would be really is I'm a real estate agent, and that's my other job. And are you saying that I wouldn't be able to flash my picture up there every now and then?
Well, I think, you know, I haven't looked at it exactly, but yeah, if you're advertising other businesses other than what's on site, then that's an off-premise sign essentially.
Okay, well then I guess we wouldn't do that. I just didn't imagine that would matter. You know, and again, we're not doing other businesses, but I do have the other business of being a
Well,
real estate
yeah.
agent.
Yeah, and again, our
That's another
primary
business.
goal is to advertise our fireworks business. That's why we are putting it in.
Right.
And as well, we want it to be attractive and not an eyesore or a disturbance to the community. Because we live here too. We want it to look nice and be proud of it, you know.
Yeah, do we know? I mean, I don't know. I mean, what is the ordinance regarding displaying of video on a sign like this?
Well, it's no difference than what Quick Trip has type things and the Village Inn has. It's that kind of video. I mean, you know, they have, you know, he's got a chicken Alfredo up there right now flashing that I'm going to go have after this. So that's kind of what it would be like in some cases. A lot of still stuff, but no different than what Quick Trip Show has up there in either Lee.
And again, it has to be, there's a lot of detail in the Wisconsin one. And, you know, again, you know, it mentioned refresh rate and brightness and so forth. And we will be adhering to that, those sets of requirements.
Sure. I haven't really paid attention to what's on Quick Trip and Village Inn, but, you know, they're not distracting, I guess. So I'm just thinking of the ones where actually you have you know, like a video scene in motion that can be distracting on the road.
I don't think it would be so much like that, you know.
No.
That's why I'm wondering
More like
more
like still images, I think.
Yeah, still images mainly what it's going to be, yes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's certain ordinances in communities where those sorts of graphics are disallowed because of their distractive tendency.
And
Oh, sure, because,
fireworks.
You're like watching a video, you know, you're like, and your eyes are drawn over to the attention of the sign rather than watching the traffic, you know.
I don't have the book in front of me, but when we made up the sign ordinance, I don't know if that technology existed.
No, I don't think it did. No, it's completely different these days. Exactly.
Mary, that's not in there, is it? Because I don't think that I read it.
I don't think it's in our ordinance. It might be a state ordinance, though.
No, it is not in our ordinance.
There is some
No, there's
state,
nothing like that. No, exactly. But maybe there's something in the state because it's a state highway, so you got to look at that. So
Paul,
the state does have some restrictions on that.
Yes.
Right.
well, again, any kind of approval would be the boilerplate language, all conditions.
Great.
If any other questions, I'll open it up to the
I
public.
have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
It's a little one. On the picture that was shown, where the X is that where the sign would go?
Oh, on the photo?
This photo?
It's good. Yes, it would be up in that area. Yes, facing south. And it'd be, you know, it's got to be a minimum of
Adhering to the setback.
yeah. So
Right,
it's got to
70
be
and 30 feet.
My question is, why isn't
Yeah.
it going out where your other sign is?
Right.
because technically the other one's is a mobile sign. And we can't put it out there, this permanent sign, because it's too close.
Too close to the
I would like
highway.
to. That would have been ideal. Truly,
Too
make
close
it
to
two
the
sides
highway.
and put it out there.
So does
Yeah,
that,
it's too close.
Are you
These two-
retaining the mobile sign?
Not sure at this point yet. I want, right now we're not sure if we would.
Okay.
is that about how big
Probably,
your sign is?
I'll be honest with you, we would like to get it out of there just because we're really trying to improve the place. We really are. And the other thing is, you guys know there's a competition going on at the other end of town, and they look like, buying the bank building, they're going to put it in. So we're trying to up our game a little bit, and yet try to make this place look as nice as possible and have us look, like we can compete with somebody that just bought a building like that.
Understood.
Yeah.
One other
Curious about
question.
I'm going to take a little liberty here, and I'm filling in. I think your sign is going to be about that big.
Yes, exactly. No, I think you've got it pretty
Is that right?
pretty
Is that about right?
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's not a very
That's-
big sign.
No, the sign that's red sign, that rectangle sign, that's that banner right there. That's
Yeah.
4 feet by 8 feet about. So it gives you a little perspective, that one that's there. And we'll yank that one out of there, of course. That'll be
Yes, that'll
gone.
be gone.
And you're going to be 6 feet by 4 feet, but 7.5 feet in the air.
Yeah, that'll be the
With the
top of it.
stand.
Yeah.
And
half-
the
Half the
power-
length of that fireworks sign.
Right.
Yeah.
4 feet, no, 6 feet wide, and that one's 8 feet, so a little bigger. Okay, a little bigger than my black box. Yeah, okay. A little bit bigger.
and the power pole isn't going to obstruct?
That's a great question. We've had to move it. And so, I'd love to be as close as we could to each road, but we're going to have to back it off. And every time I drive home, I try to figure out where exactly that sucker's going, because it is going to be a little bit. And then, of course, the guy across in the corner, He's got some trees in the way, but you know, it is what it is, you know.
So it wouldn't be hard to just throw up some plywood and kind of see where it is and then use that as your.
Well, we've done it. Yeah,
That's a
we've
good
been,
idea.
believe me, we've been playing it, but then it's the leaves fall down and then you can see better and then things grow back and it's been kind of crazy.
Here, Sammy, and Carolyn, I want you to succeed at your business. And so I'm only saying this from that perspective. Have you thought about putting it closer back up the incline to the fence? And how would that mess with intrusion into properties across the street? And would it? And
You know,
it
Mary,
seems
we're
like
talking.
the location you picked doesn't really get to traffic on 35.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm telling you, actually, where the previous sign is right now, that banner, if you've noticed the picture, that's of course, that's the way Mark positioned in the first place, thinking that that was the best angle for people coming south. I'll be honest, I'm not dead on where we're going to put it yet. I mean, it's going to at least be within the, it's not going to be encroaching on the roads, but we might move it back a little farther. But I mean, I've even pulled out a tree thinking I was going to put it more towards out farther, and that didn't look right. So we're in that area, but yes, I hear what you're saying. But even if we moved it back 5 or 10 feet towards the house, away from the roads, I don't think it makes that much difference. But that could be possible that we might do that in the end.
So I noticed the cones in the picture. Is that kind of where you were thinking of?
At the time I took the picture, yes, and they're still sitting out there. I move them around a little bit, kind of envisioning. So,
Okay.
Again, we're not going to be closer to the roads, but it's just how far back and trying to get the ideal angle. And again, across the street from me, he's got a big yard. His house is set back, so the way it faces, as you're coming north on 35, it should be good enough to see again because people are only going 25, and we get a message out. Yeah.
I'm assuming the angle would be faced towards 35, and the house I'm concerned about is the one kitty corner, even though it sets back a little bit. The one directly on Summer, on the east side of Summer.
Yep.
Southeast. That one's further back, but it's the one next to them on 35. I know that house is set back pretty far, but I'm not sure how the angle of your sign would influence the windows that are on that house, on the north and west corners of the house.
Right. Okay. And I'm staring out my office right now, looking at those, and it's not going to affect the one that's on the west side of 35 in Summer. But that one that's down here, south from the
I think
thing.
it's a brown house, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It is. And we're looking at it out the window, and it sets back. I mean.
And I think ideally, if we angle it, so it's angled more towards the direct corner, people are going to actually see it better coming from the north versus if it's more angled towards that house, people won't even see it coming from the north.
But there is going to, yes, that house at an angle, I don't know how to explain the angle, that at slight angle could see some of the sign. I mean, that's not our ideal direction, but, I don't know that there's much you can do.
I suppose, especially at night, how far, the brightness and how far does that carry and all that.
Yeah. And I mean, we really, we really tried to think this out and not upset neighbors. Yeah, we are a business. We're in a commercial lot. So we want to try to take advantage of what we can. But looking at this, I'm looking at the picture window from here at an angle, and I just don't think it'll be a problem. That is really the only house that I see would even have any kind of angle of the sign.
Right.
Man.
And that still has to be, I'm going to take a big stab at this and go, that's got to be 200 feet from at least 200 feet from where your sign is proposed to be.
Yes, I would say
3.
You're pretty much, you're pretty close. Yep. Yeah. I would say it's a little less than, it's not quite a football field, but it's 200 feet or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
If I could just make a suggestion, if there's concerns about the neighbors, the business does not operate 7 days a week, 365 a year. So maybe some consideration as to hours of operation for the sign or duration in terms of calendar year might be appropriate if there's concern for the neighbors when business isn't open anyway.
Well, the only thing I would say about that is, I mean, we understand what you're saying. We don't want our neighbors to be upset, but this sign is quite of an investment for us. And it is to promote us, year round. So people do know that even though our off season, they know where to come. And that's their Highway 35. That's the whole point is. So I understand what you're saying. We don't want to upset any neighbors, but, like I said, to have, some restrictions on how often we can use it would make it very difficult for us.
Yeah, I don't see the difference.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Quick Trip. Yeah, Quick Trip runs theirs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
I can stare at Lee's sign on my bedroom window every night and see it in my window.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to compare apples to apples here. And it's the same. Commercial is commercial is commercial.
So
If there's no restrictions on Quick Trip, I don't see there should be any restrictions on this sign.
So as a question, and I know this is an investment, and I support businesses and entrepreneurship and everything in North Hudson. Wouldn't you be happier with a double-sided sign, and couldn't you make it mobile as in something similar to your other mobile sign? The reason why it's mobile is because it kind of skirts everything. Would it be able that then people can see it north and south almost directly? It's not really going into any neighbor's houses at one direction, but you would be able to get double the advertisement. And if that were to be possible, I mean, did you look at that? That's something that maybe the board would also understand. It just seems that for you to have it on your one angle to only be covered from the south, it seems like such a large investment, and you're not getting your full investment from what you're putting in on it. I mean, is that something that you looked at or have you thought about? And I don't know what the board thinks too, yay or nay, but as far as it running, yeah, it would run all the time. But as for running, I do not believe your sign is your sign for your business, and you would not be able to advertise your Realtor business off of it. The village does not advertise anything else, maybe Pepperfest, that's a community thing. But no other sign does advertising for any other business. So looking at it as a sign of collecting income or helping your other businesses, I would not be in vote for that, because now we're talking about a billboard and we would be talking about a completely different beast.
Yeah, that's really just a side thought.
Yeah, so okay, so we understand that we can only use it for the fireworks business, but again, as we said, we're trying to bring up our game here. And first of all, the mobile signs out front, why they do them mobile signs is because they can move them closer to 35 and not deal with the penalty. So we're really trying to not do that. But we really, like I said, we have competition going, and they bought a $625,000 building at the north end of town. And so part of this is putting back into, because we have some definite competition. So that other sign really isn't meeting what we're looking for to upgrade our business, to do a two-sided.
I'm sure you thought it. I'm thinking why you're doing it is so you can change your message. So you can say,
we're going to have fireworks messages on the catch stuff. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
You can't do that with a station.
No.
And really more, it's to give just brief, catchy messages more so than video. Like, we're having a sale today, or we've got this product in, or whatever it might be. Just in fact, we even have a marketing company who are coming up with some brief, catchy slogans for us. So that's primarily what we intend to use it for.
Hours of operation.
Out of season, right? You sell.
Sorry, what's that?
You sell out of season, like.
No. We have a 6-month permit that we only sell. Yep, absolutely. We don't sell anything outside of that. Absolutely.
No, I understand that, but then you could use that sign inside of your 6-month permit before and after. Even though it's early, your permit's for 6 months, but they can contact you before you're staffing them.
Yeah, we want to definitely, that's the whole point. People buy fireworks a couple times a year, once a year. If you don't catch them, we want them to remember us. We want them to come here and buy from us. And that's why would be going year round and promoting our brand and our messages.
No, I like that, and I understand that. I mean, I give a place a call, and they come and open it up for me when I need to buy them, so.
Well, we do that too, but we can only do it within the 6-month period. So right.
Well, I think you need to clarify. It's actually 180 days, not
Yes.
6
I'm
consecutive
sorry,
days.
180 days. Yes, it is 180 days. Yes.
Okay. Anything else, or could we go to the public hearing, see if anyone have questions from the public? I'd entertain a motion to go into public hearing.
So moved.
Second? Was there
I'll
a second?
second.
Thank you. All in favor of going into public hearing, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are in public hearing at 7:30. Is anyone from the public out there would like to comment or have questions? We usually go a minute. Anybody? I don't think we have. I think most of our discussion has happened already.
Bueller?
I would entertain a motion to come out of public hearing.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of coming out of public hearing, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are out of public hearing at 7:31. Okay, well, we had a lot there.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I don't know if we want to put any conditions on this as far as,
Well, include the ones about meeting all local and state regulations.
no, there's that one. But I'm not so sure the state regulations talks about brightness.
Correct. And so there may have to be some kind of, we may need to look at other ordinances and what other cities have done about taking down their signs during nighttime. It has to be brighter during the day, but it can't be sunlight bright during the night.
Well, all we have to say is that reduce brightness, from sunset to sunrise or dusk to dawn.
I'm almost sure it has a self-adjusting tint screen on it
It may.
that will
Maybe
adjust
manual.
with the sunlight.
It is 2021.
I mean,
That's
Not
all.
sure.
It's just the brightness, just to make sure that we're covering
Yeah.
our bases for brightness. And of course, the state statute has repeat frequency, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Sorry, we were on mute. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was trying to read it real quick and I was getting lost. It's a big section.
Yeah, they've got a lot of detail in there.
Yeah.
And we don't.
And like
have
somebody
that.
mentioned, it's a state-of-the-art sign. I mean, this for what we're paying for this thing, it better dim.
yeah.
It will.
So the only other recommendation I might have is that you put it in the most advantageous spot without annoying neighbors.
Yes,
Or
exactly.
disrupting traffic.
That's our goal. That's our goal. I mean, it really is. That's our goal, and we'll do our best.
Mary,
Sorry, my motion was to approve the sign in the proposed location indicated in the general area indicated on the photograph, and to comply with state and local requirements for brightness and repetitive.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion. Yeah, I would think, Mary, that brightness or anything like that, it can't be any more onerous than any other commercial entity like Quick Trip or anybody like that. I don't know if they did theirs or brighten theirs or whatever. But
Right.
this is a
I'm
smaller
not
sign.
so
It'll be less distracted than the big one, the big green one. At the
Yeah, but
cross.
you have to understand that Quick Trip and Village Inn, there are no
There's no houses by them.
houses right there. I mean, there is
Well-
screening from across North End Road from Quick Trip, but I will tell you that Abbey Grove, they can see those lights and they can hear the pump
Yeah.
intercom constantly.
Yeah.
Actually, we can hear it from our house too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There haven't been any complaints as far as I know, but it's just, okay, that happened. Let's try to avoid it happening again.
Yeah.
I can see the green lights from the Freedom Station from my house on Michaelson Street. I can.
Well,
Yeah, we can from our house. Yeah, that's for sure.
So Rob seconded it. Do we have a,
Yeah.
I was just doing some discussion. Any more?
sorry.
I guess my
That's
my
fine.
only suggestion would be to, just clarify that it can only be advertising exit fireworks.
Yes.
Yes, I would,
Otherwise, it would be a billboard, and that would go
So,
into
well,
other
okay,
animals.
maybe,
So he can't advertise the Packers versus the Vikings?
correct.
That's community service.
Well, community service, and I don't know if that goes in, like they said, they do want to help out on Pepperfest or anything else, and I don't know. I mean, gosh, do they do Amber Alerts too?
Sure, why not?
I mean, so
we're gonna be
that's
tied
where
into all that stuff. Yep.
this goes into so many things.
Yeah,
I think if it's for the community, the state, or federal, okay, but other businesses, nobody else is doing that. You are sectioned, this is your business, you're advertising. But for community events, I don't know if we need to make a note on that. That would be okay to do Pepperfest deals or, help support local stuff. And then maybe, and I don't know, how does this go? If all of a sudden you're going to sell Girl Scout cookies there,
Okay,
or how else this goes on.
Paul brought something up earlier. If you want to just reiterate, Paul, commercial advertising.
Yeah, community events, time and temp, those are fine. But, you can advertise another business, then it's an off-premise sign for that business, and it's essentially a billboard. And I don't think the state's gonna let you do it anyway.
right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we did include a statement of our intent with the permit. Was pretty much what I read. But like I said, our primary purpose is to talk about promote our fireworks business, and we'd like to be involved in the community and want to be seen as a community friend and partner. So, and we like Pepperfest and those things too. So that's why we thought it'd be a nice touch if we had the ability to do that. We could do so.
And I think that's fine, but, since you're not open all year round, there's certainly a temptation to rent space on that sign for other businesses, and that's.
Well, we want
Yeah,
to.
that wasn't the plan. My assumption was I could have my picture, my real estate face up there. I didn't know, because I own that business. I didn't know that, but okay, now we understand. We will watch to make sure everybody else is doing that too, because things do pop up because I've seen them. So that's my question is that this, we read all the rules, we've tried to do all that, but some of this other stuff now seems to be a little different than what I've been, seeing living here.
Do you have examples to share, please?
No, I won't go into that right now, but that's okay. As long as, I'm not saying they did it a lot. I just didn't know they couldn't do it, but I've seen some things that no big deal. Just maybe promoting a raffle or promoting something that's outside for maybe maybe it's a public thing, but that's okay. We just won't do that now that we know that. Yeah.
Paul, I have a question,
Sure.
possibly a legal question. If the real estate business was run out of that commercial lot, or if that was a satellite location for the real estate business, would that fall under advertising for outside businesses?
Well, that's,
I don't know.
it's going to be a gray area. The permit is for exit. Exit
Exit one fireworks. There you go. Okay. Thank you. I get it.
yeah.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All in favor of approval of the motion as proposed by Mary, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is passed. We will push that on to the village board. Thank you very much.
Can I make one comment
Yes, you may.
to Sam and Carolyn?
Yes.
I think you have improved that property immensely.
Thank you.
Oh,
You
Thank
have
you.
done. I walk by there a lot coming up from the river
Yeah.
with my dog. And you guys have done a really nice job of trying to improve what it looks like.
It looks
Thank
nice.
you.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Yes,
That's-
you
Part of
have.
it might be because we approved that fence, right, Gene?
Oh, geez, I'll tell you, that looks nice
No, but
though.
I mean, it just all looks so much better than what it did before. So thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Appreciate the comments. Thank you.
Wish the best of luck to you all.
Appreciate it,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Next item is routine business. My only comment on routine business is I checked with Jessica, and this is the end of our, I don't know if it's our fiscal year, but it's our committee year, and everybody's coming back. So welcome everybody for.
Aren't you guys lucky?
I was never asked.
I had.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ask me?
Rob
Your
was
term
asked.
wasn't
You get
over.
a 3-year term. Only if you,
3-year term.
Oh, I'm still on term. Okay.
yeah.
Wait, I
You
have
didn't
time to
get
figure
asked.
out how to work Zoom,
Came this close.
Yeah, you need to take a seminar.
so I can figure this out. I still got time. Okay.
Okay.
Does anybody know what's going on with the Galicki property?
With which one?
Shopyards, the
Good question.
building that had Midwest imports in it.
Oh yeah, the guy that was doing the auto
Oh, the auto
detailing.
guy?
Yeah. The guy that actually owned the building.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Jessica,
Yeah.
do you have any information?
Well, I've walked by there in the past, and I've seen cars in that portion of the building. You know, they did some work with the glass there,
The glass
so you can
portion.
see in. And there are cars in there, and I've seen some vehicles outside, but I've never
There's
seen
a lot of vehicles outside.
Yeah, and
Does
I've
it
never
look
seen.
like they're running storage or or business retail.
Well, they were doing a reconditioning business and then resale, but they were doing.
But they lost that through us, I thought, because they
Yes,
weren't.
they did.
Oh. Well, they didn't lose. I think they still do the reconditioning, but they're not selling on premises. No, right. Is that what you mean?
Well, Jessica told us that they weren't in business anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So we would need to know about whether it's storage, reconditioning, or sales, right? Because I mean, I don't know what his original thing was, if it's just storage, but if they're working.
Well,
on
wouldn't it come up when their permit has to be renewed?
At this point, I don't think it's anything that the plan commission can act on.
Yeah.
I think it's
that's what
internally, things are being looked at, and at this point, we don't need to discuss it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause
Well,
I
yeah,
think
'cause
there's
don't-
only one business that's conditionally has a conditional use permit, and that's Milestones. I think that's the only business that has a current conditional use permit, I think, right?
I guess if it's handled internally, I would accept going to that. If we need
Okay.
to meet or convene because of it, then we will. But if
Did
it's
we
being
ask? Did
handled,
we ask for information from the board or whatever, just so we know what's going on?
you
Also,
could ask anybody you wanted.
I would suggest checking with the police department.
Yeah, that's what I would say too, because
Hmm.
usually they are doing those things.
I agree.
Okay.
So I move to adjourn.
Kind of
Okay.
on that topic, I just have another question.
Okay, sorry.
Does anybody know, is 18, is the storage, 18, was it 1888 is storage or whatever that is now?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're building a big building outside of Roberts.
Yes, I believe those two storage buildings, the original Shopyard buildings north of the building we were just talking about.
Yes.
Mr. McFarland, I believe, sold them off.
Oh. So, because that's a big investment, what's going on out right? I mean, it's a brand new big precast building going up.
Yeah.
I
I
didn't
thought I
think
heard-
he had
I-
any intention of selling his property, Mr. McFarland.
Yeah, well.
No,
whatever. Anyway, I was just curious.
that's
Okay.
what, okay.
Do
I
we
read
care?
something about 1889, so where they said they were leaving.
Yep.
And,
I think you're right, Mary. And there's a sign on the building that says home of 18, whatever, now in Roberts.
Yes.
yeah,
Right.
anyway,
Okay.
I mean, it was several months ago, last year sometime.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
I so move.
Okay. Gene has a motion. Is there a second? All in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.
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 Adjourned at 7:44.